Hi everyone. We have done some working using SAP Lumira on issues with refugees in Australia. We are three group mates who have worked on this project and we are postgraduate students of Victoria University. My name is Anirudh Yadav. My student ID is 4563689.
Hi, my name is Parul Punj and my ID is S4563687.
Hi, my name is Sayed and my ID is 4561575. So now we will explain you about how refugees came to Australia and what issues they are facing in Australia so that they can have a good life. So first of all, I will tell you how many refugees came in Australia. So in this graph, you can see that as we work on SAP Lumira. So you can see here, this graph shows like the resettled refugees in 1998 is like 3,988. This is the lowest refugees came to Australia from the data of 1994 to 2015. And the most refugees came in the year 2012, which is like showing, you can say 12,012 refugees came from different countries to Australia. This data shows how from 1994 to 2015 how many refugees came to Australia and they got resettled. So this data is basically showing that 2012 is the year like which shows like most refugees came to Australia. 2012 and 2013 are the years which shows like most refugees came to Australia. Similarly, now I will show you one another graph which will explain you about uh, the refugees which came from different countries. So this graph will basically explain you about how many refugees came from which country in 2014 and 2015. We basically compare 2 years. So this data will explain you about that in 2015 the refugees came from Bhutan is like 207 only, and in 2014 the refugees came from Bhutan is like 354. Similarly, the most refugees came from Iraq. In 2015, you can see easily that the graph will basically explain you about Iraq, like 2,551 refugees came from Iraq, and similarly from in 2014 the refugees came from Iraq is like 2,335. As you can say, these are the data for Syria, 2,332, like close to Iraq. So these are this data is basically, the blue one is basically representing the 2014 years and the green one is basically representing the 2015 years. So these are the refugees came from different countries. So now I will explain you about one more graph of according to refugees data. So this graph will basically represent the number of boats came to Australia unauthorized, which were not authorized, and the most people came from that. You can say the refugees came from on the boats. So you can say the lowest boats and came in the years like in the year 1981, only one boat, and some boats before came in 1976, but we didn't find that data. But here you will see like the most boats came in 2013, and which shows like 20,587 people came on boats which were unauthorized, and they don't have any, like you can say, track records because they had problem in their countries. And similarly, now you can say like 2012 like 278 boats came and 17,204 people came. This graph shows increase and from year 1980 to 2013, and in 2014 there are no boats till now. Now I will explain you about one another graph, which is basically the pie chart of number of refugees came, like how many refugees are still living and how they are basically working. So this graph basically represents like 8,175 people got temporary protection visa, and similarly this data is for 2003 and 2004 years. So 3,788 people got removed from Australia, and similarly you can say unauthorized boat arrivals which got permanent protection visa is like 1,227, and there are like 281 and still in detention, and 74 got on bridging visa. Now I will explain you one more graph which is very much related to the refugees got resettled in Australia in different states. So as here you can see the like Fairfield is the state which basically has resettled a lots of refugees, which shows like 4,873 refugees. And similarly, all other states have got lots of refugees got resettled. Like this state is uh, this one important state is like Hume, Victoria. This it shows like 2,754 refugees got settled in this state, and similarly the lowest refugees got settled in Grant SA state, which is like only 9 refugees, and similarly, this data will show you like the most refugees got settled in Fairfield, NSW, which is very big state of Australia. And now I will show you one another graph which basically shows the issues they are facing in when they got settled in different states when the refugees came to Australia. So this graph will explain you about the different issues they are facing. As you can see here, the most issues are faced by refugees is like English language. Like 12,000 refugees said like English language is very hurdle or very tough for them to improve. So if they don't have English language, they cannot do anything. They can't go outside. They can't talk to people. So they are facing different issues with this factor of English language. Similarly, they are facing different cultural barriers problems. They are facing torture because refugees who came with trauma backgrounds, they have issues in their countries. Similarly, they lost their families, and similarly now I will tell you they have lack of Australian work experience, which is very important for the refugees as they don't get any jobs. So and they also have difficulties in learning new system, and they're trying to work hard, and they like 6,000 people also said like they cannot work find any good job, and you can say like good work in Australia, and they are having big problems in finding work and financial hardships as well. Now I will show you another graph which basically shows the percentage of according to the issues they are facing. So these issues are very much like related to the refugees' life. As you can say, like refugees came to Australia, they face different problems. So sometimes, like 40% refugees says like they face family separation and breakdown, and similarly, lack of appropriate accommodation because these are 65% refugees are got this problem, and similarly lack of English spoken, like 84% refugees face this problem, and this is very much, you can say, the important factor which basically disturbs them, so their daily life, and they cannot live a good life without English. And as you can say, they are having a lots of problem in when they move from private rental, so they need to improve it, and they have to live their life happily. So the government is helping them, and so refugees are facing these issues, and they have to resolve them. And that's the data we got from the as that's on the refugees, and that's what we explained in Lumira. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.